much for joining me today on another episode of Let Them See Your Mind. My name is LD Marie, and let's get started. Today's episode, I have been clamping at the bits for this one because by now everybody has already watched the series Meghan. Jesus, Meghan and Harry, or Harry and Meghan. I think it's Harry and Meghan. The picture is on there, whatever the case may be. But I just want to talk about it because there's been some some nicks and picks about this series, and it's about the royal family, and it's about our black princess. Even though technically she didn't like give black woman energy before UK, but now we're claiming her because she is of a mixed race. Shout out to Meghan, Duchess Meghan, and Prince Harry, and his book Spare has just came out. And I'm super excited because I got a free copy of it, so I will probably give my 2 cents about the book when I actually read it. But hey, we'll see about it. I am like complex because I watched the full series, and it was a lot of tidbits. But the one thing that I wanted to hound on, really hound on, is this comment here that she made in the series. So take a look.
Very different to be a minority but not be treated as a minority right off the bat. But obviously now people are very aware of my race because they made it such an issue when I went to the UK. But before that, most people didn't treat me like a black woman. So that talk didn't have to happen for me.
So, a lot of you know that that particular comment sparked a lot of chatter on all social media websites where she felt that she wasn't a black woman until she entered into the United Kingdom. And when I say that is the tale of tales and that's the story of a lot of black and brown people here in the United Kingdom, because really, honestly, you are definitely judged by the color of your skin. But it's not like the in-your-face racism that you experience in the United States. It's very much microaggressions, passive aggressiveness, and then also the media portrayals. Because honestly, like she said in the series, like all of British media is low-key racist. But also they're very focused on what's going on everywhere else, aka America, than what's going on in their own backyard. There are a lot of different protests and there's a lot of different actions that come about as far as like discrimination, racism here in the United Kingdom. And one of the cases was when a report that came out where an officer strip searched like a 15, 16-year-old girl. I've discussed about this previously on one of my other episodes. They strip searched her, and then they actually pulled out her tampon while they strip searched her because they thought that she was an adult. And this is a black female young girl. And the report came out, and it was really eye-opening. Well, it's not really eye-opening to us, but it was just really like shocking to see that in the report that because of this incident, it was deeply rooted in because of who she looked like and who she was. We have a problem, not only in the United States, but we have a problem in the UK. Being black in the UK is very much a stride as it is being black in the United States. Like, come on now. It's a very much different world. Just because it's not in your face like it is in America doesn't necessarily mean that you do not experience it at all. I've experienced a lot of microaggressions as a social worker in a predominantly white area because I work in like some would consider this the countryside of the United Kingdom. So like when I joined, I was told that I think 95-98% of the population within the council that I was being hired onto was white British, which of course. And then you also see that these kids have never seen anybody but white before in their lives. And sometimes there are still sprinkles of color every now and again, but I remember one of my first visits, the mom was like, because it was a baby, she was like, I think you're the first black person she's ever seen. I was like, oh. So we truly are now here out here. But when you go to London, when you go to major cities like London, Manchester, Liverpool, um, and Southampton even, you see different areas and different cultures, and you see that. But when you go into these small towns and these small areas and different cities, you don't see that as much. And that's what it's just they've grown into what they perceive as normal. But even within those small towns, they may have a trickle of black and brown in the mix, but they don't know, or they're uncomfortable. And that's where it's a lot of different things of just just the true microaggressions that do happen. One of the latest microaggressions that spun the news in CNN and BBC and everything else was when it was Prince William's godmother, Lady Susan, questioned a black woman at a charity fundraiser. She was Ngozi. I'm probably going to say her name wrong. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. Don't at me. I'm going to say it wrong. Ngozi Famumi? I tried. I really did. She's the CEO of a Haneke charity, Sister Space. Now, really, I want to see Sister Space because I love seeing black women win. But she was being questioned by Lady Susan about where she was from, and Ngozi, she basically said like, I'm British, I was born here, I was raised here, and then those questions of, well, no, where are you from, where your family's from, where's this from, and she was very much questioning, and Ngozi felt very uncomfortable with the line of questioning, and that caused a whirlwind. And also, it caused a lot of whirlwind on social media. When people were on Lady Susan's side, other people was on Ngozi's side, and it's really just a line of questioning. And it doesn't just happen with white women in particular, white women in particular. It also happens within our community because of course I'm from Texas, I'm an American, and a lot of black people here, a lot of Africans or Caribbeans or whatever, they usually one of the main questions they usually ask me is, where are you from? I'm from America. No, where is your family from? That line of questioning. And also, I know when people hear that, people see that and be like, oh, it's just so annoying. To me, it's annoying because the simple fact of, for them, they were like, well, there's tests out there, you can find out. But do I want to? Maybe one day, eventually, who knows? But I just had to think about the tests, and that's just a different story in general about the test, and I just don't want to submit my test to a company. Even though I can submit everything else, I just don't want to submit my DNA. Shocker. But I don't know. So, I mean, maybe eventually one day I'll go into the 23andMe and figure out that I'm truly am Nigerian, because everybody seems to think that I'm Nigerian. Or I'm from Nigeria, because literally when I say that, a lot of Nigerians look at me and be like, you look like a Nigerian woman. I remember I was in the airport waiting to go back. I was going to Portugal. I was in the airport waiting to go to Portugal. This woman walked up to me. She was like, are you going to Nigeria? I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not. She was like, well, can you help me? I was like, yes, ma'am, I will. And so she thought I was going to Nigeria. But I mean, just certain things and certain interactions like that can really just come about and just say, oh, okay. I mean, people have guessed it, and you never know. Maybe 23andMe comes about and say I am Nigerian. I'll do another video when that actually happens. But I'm in between funds, so I learned a new phrase when I was on TikTok Live earlier. I'm not broke. I'm in between funds. So when I'm in between funds right now. So when I actually poke up the courage to do the 23andMe or Ancestry or the black version of Ancestry, I will let y'all guys know. But it just comes about where those certain actions happen, not only with white people to black people, or just the black people to black people. It's those things, it's those microaggressions, those passive aggressiveness tendencies, to where you really just stop and think, well, damn, like, you don't have to push my agenda up or anything like that. And really, and there's a real discussion in regards to how a lot of British people think they're not racist because it's not America. we just have it proved by Meghan's statement that she didn't feel like a black woman until she actually entered into this country. And the jokes started to come out, and the different rhetoric started to come out, not only for herself, but also for her children. Come on, y'all. That was there. It's always been there. And it's funny to say that a lot of British media tore this woman up and down, and you can see within this series, they tore her up and down, regardless of anything. Whether you team Meghan, Harry, or whether you're on the other side, you can't deny that they were out to get her. If you put stuff side by side from Kate, now Catherine, Princess Catherine, and Meghan about similar things, it's alarming. And us as black people know it. We know it. We absolutely know it. And those are the things that we need to address, not only just in the United States, but also everywhere. There are stories out here that British media tried to bury of black people, black or brown people getting hurt in custody by the police, by Met Police, by any other police that's in the United Kingdom. And they try to cover stuff that happens in America, aka George Floyd. Like, it was very big. I wasn't here when they did the protests for George Floyd, but a lot of those protests, a lot of those things, a lot of the injustices for black people arise in the United States. And people don't want to make a big deal about how America influences the United Kingdom so much. Vice versa, same thing, because we broke off from the United Kingdom way long time ago, and I'm not gonna know. I know the song, but I just don't remember the year that we broke off. So don't at me. But it's very concerning that racism is here. Even one of the British actors, Daniel Kaluuya, please don't come to me. I'm horrible with names. He even said racism is not seen in England, but it's felt. It's oppressive. That statement is loud and clear when it comes to being black in the United Kingdom. It's loud and clear, and the message is clear in regards to the situation. So I don't know what else to tell you, but that was just one of the key things that I got out of oh Jesus, I can't even talk right today. Harry and Meghan series on Netflix. That series is really good and gives an insight of what happened on their perspective, because they use a lot of personal videos besides just interviews. And I love the fact that they included Tyler Perry because he was one of the major players that helped them into safety when they moved to the United States before COVID. So I was just very excited, very indulged into that particular series. And I hope that just this conversation alone still spreads and we still talk about it. But of course we still have people on social media that will always and forever hate Prince Harry and Meghan for what they did, because they feel like that it was a stab in the back. I say they lived for them and they got the hell out of Dodge, because Harry knew what exactly happened with his mom and he didn't want that to happen with his wife. Point blank period. But thank you so much for joining me today. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your questions. If we need to dive in more into the series, and I need to like point blank a little other clips that I saw. I mean, I'm here for the conversation. Let me invite you into my world. Let's have that dialogue. Let's have that conversation. But don't forget to like this video, subscribe. Also, I am just on YouTube. I'm also on Spotify. I'm also on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google, and Anchor. Shout out to Anchor, as my podcast disseminates through Anchor. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's always been a pleasure. It's always here. Until next time, let them see your mind. Peace out.